Okay, so I'm going to go through the process of hooking up to Aeries up to Google Classroom so that the sync works. I've been playing with this for a while, and I have some things hooked up and some things not hooked up. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually just delete everything on the Aeries side. Um, and that is because I'm going to use Google as my place of record, pull everything over from Google and not change anything on the Aeries side. You can add a few things on the Aeries side, but that's my basic philosophy here. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is go into these links and unlink. And unlink and unlink. You may not have had it linked previously. You might have just pasted things in. Either way, that's fine. So now I'm going to go in and delete all my gradebooks. So I need to figure out how to do that. I'm assuming it's in Manage Gradebook, and I'm going to hit pause while I figure it out. All right, it was super easy to figure out. Part of Edit Gradebook here, you go down to the bottom and you hit Delete. So I'm going to delete this gradebook and everything about it. Bye-bye gradebook. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to delete this gradebook and everything about it. Bye-bye gradebook. Okay, so I now have 0 gradebooks. I do have this import assignments from Google. But the first thing I want to do, because as you remember, I'm not attached to anything any longer. I'm going to go back to home, and I'm going to go to my active classes and reattach them to the websites or to the Google Classrooms that they are attached to. So I hit link. And what did I say this one was? This is Computer Science Principles, right? So this is my 3rd period, Computer Science Principles. I'm going to hit that one. Classroom is successfully linked. Any students to add will be processed. So it is critical that you pick the right one. And this is my period. This is my period 3, Computer Science Principles. And the reason why it's critical is it's actually going to sync the students. I think all of my students are already there, but that's fine. So now I'm going to do my advisory and link. And as this comes up, I will find period 4 advisory. Click that. Okay, same thing. And finally, period 5, senior capstone. One thing to note is in the future, I'm going to use this create link. And so basically, I'm going to create the Google Classroom from Aeries. And that way, it puts the kids in it for them and everything. So it's all completely set up. All right. So period 5 is right here. I hit that one. Okay, and I click OK. So those have all been created, and I can go in here and see that they've been created. It automatically puts in your Google links and everything. Okay. Next step is to recreate my gradebooks. Okay, so there is one other thing actually I want to mention about this connection here. So this is sort of the primary connection connecting Aeries to Google Classroom, your Aeries classes to Google Classroom. It does 2 different things. It syncs students. So if somebody is added to your class, they will get added to Google Classroom automatically. Overnight, a script runs. Maybe that won't run sometimes, maybe it will, but that's the intention. That's what it's supposed to do. And I've heard a couple teachers say that they're like, who are these kids in my classroom? So anyway, so it does sort of quote unquote work. It sounds like there might be a bug or 2 in it. But anyway, that's what that does. But it also sort of sets up the connection for your gradebooks. So I'm going to come over here to my gradebook, and I'm going to click Add Gradebook. And I'm going to start with my period 3. So this is a single term gradebook. Oh, no, it's not a single term gradebook. Quite the opposite. It's a quarter gradebook. So it's quarter 1. And that's the time frame. It is, and this is the one that's always confusing there, my period 3. I don't know why they call it. Anyway, period 3, there it is. Period 3, oh, up here, quarter 1. Period 3, quarter 1. That's the one I want. So I associate that one. Yep. That is sort of a dumb name. APCS principles. Okay, so and now I will hit save. So that gradebook has been created. So now I want to go to manage students and add all my students. So add all students. And that should connect the students from one to the other automatically. Once this is completed. Okay, that says process completed. So I'm going to click close. And there we go. I have a gradebook with all my kids in it. Okay, so right now I'm not going to add any categories because I want to see what the sync does. I'm certainly not going to add any assignments because I want them all to be brought over from Google. So I'm really just going to leave all of this stuff at the defaults for right now and just sort of see what I get from Google. So I'm also going to create my other gradebook. So I'm going to pause for a second while I do that. Okay, so I created gradebooks in both places. And theoretically, just clicking that button, which I'm not going to do right now, will bring all grades over from Google. Actually, now that I'm sitting here doing this, I wonder if I even needed to create the gradebooks in the first place. Let's assume that I did. And so this will import all of the assignments into these gradebooks from Google. So I'm going to go over to Google now. Okay, next step. So if we go to Classroom, I've got my 2 different classes here with gradebooks. So let's start by looking at the settings that I've chosen. So I click the little gear icon here on the home page. And in Google Classroom, you can come down here. So with my computer science principles class, I just do raw points. So an assignment is worth 100 points, a project is worth 200 points, and a performance task is worth 500 points. But then for our senior class, we operate on percentages. So from this class, I'll come here and you can see we're doing weighted. So engagement is 60%, milestones are 40% of the grade. So 2 different category schemes. I have no idea what's going to happen on the other end. But there they are. So these are these classes. They're filled with kids and assignments. And on the Google side, on the Aeries side, there's nothing. So I hit import assignments here, and it goes out and does some querying. And so it's looking for places that have a gradebook here in Aeries and that are connected to Google Classrooms that have assignments. And it found 2, right? So remember, I did connect 3 classes, but my advisory does not have a gradebook, so it doesn't show up here. So that's good. It means that I do have to create the gradebook here. It knows the gradebook exists, and now it says it's going to sync them. So it looks like you can import only the assignments and not the scores if you want to. So you could uncheck that. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to try this. So I've got 11 assignments here, 14 assignments here. So I'm going to click import. So now you just get this. This thing spins for a while. So I'm gonna pause. Oh, look, it's actually giving me information now. That's new. Oh, cool. It's actually telling me what it is importing. So that's excellent. Okay, I'm gonna hit pause while it goes through all of that. All right, so now it has moved on from my 3rd period sophomores to my 5th period seniors. Okay, it finished. So it says 11 assignments in Google, 11 assignments. Let's see, shall we? So go to my gradebooks. And I'm going to look at the class for my 3rd period. Wow, and there they are with all of their scores. That's super cool. Let's dig in a little bit. Let me look around and then I'll come back. Okay, first blush, here's what I see. It did not bring categories over. So it put everything into assignments, just a default assignments, because this was called this was in a category assignments. So that category did come from Google, I presume. But this one should be in a category called projects. And it did not get put into that category. So it might be that those are things that we have to correct after the sync. My guess is it won't change it once it's been synced. Let me actually try that out and we'll see where we get. Okay, so I came over to my seniors gradebook because I didn't call the category assignments in seniors. I called it engagement. So we have 3 different categories in the Google Classroom, which are engagement and milestones, 2 different categories, engagement and milestones, right? And so it created just a default category, it looks like. So my guess is that these have to be edited and then changed once the assignments come in. So it does not sync categories. Kind of a hassle, but certainly a lot better than entering everything by hand. So I'm going to do that real quick. Okay, so I added my categories here for this gradebook. If I come back to my scores by class here, and now this one, I actually want to change its category. So I go into edit and category project and save and close. Okay. And so this one should now be a project, right? No, it didn't save it. Try it again, edit. Assignments, I want it to be projects, okay? And then save and close. All right, let me go play with this for a minute. Okay, so now I went into manage gradebook and assignments and went to the same assignment here to edit. And the same thing happens. So when I hit assignments and then try to save and close, I get nothing. It comes right back here and nothing has happened. So I'm going to try it one more time with just save, just to make sure. Can't read property move of undefined. All right. So I'm going to cancel that, and I'm going to try now importing this assignment to see if it's doing that just because it can only get it from Google. So if I go to that assignment here, each assignment has a import from Google button as well. So I'm going to click this and see if that makes any difference. So this says, do I want to confirm that that is the one I want to pull over? And it is indeed the one I want to. So it'll take a moment to process that request. And let's see if this pulls over the category from Google Classroom. So it's saying it's imported 29 because 3 people, and there's an error, but 3 students did not turn it in. So that's what that error is about. I click OK. And let's see, category assignments. Well, that is, that's no good. If we can't actually edit the category, let me try this one more time. Assignments. (201) edit. Let's try a different one just to see if it's some other problem. Cannot read property move of undefined. Nope, it will not let me do that. Okay, so it's importing the assignments, but it gets stuck with that's something that's got to get fixed. All right. Well, so that's basically how this stuff works, with that one big caveat about we can't change the category. If you can change the category, please let me know. Um, but otherwise, every night this should run another sync that will resync everything from Google. My understanding is if you add an assignment here in Aeries, it'll stay in there. It won't get erased. It won't get overwritten. But any changes that you want to make to assignments here, you should make on the Aeries side and then have it pulled over. Oh, and then one other thing, if on the assignments, so when you're in any one of these assignments, and if you click grading is completed here, I think it will no longer sync. So if you hit grading is completed, and then Google will no longer bring over new data to that assignment. So once you've clicked grading is completed, you can make changes here. Okay. All right. I hope that's in some way helpful. Let me know what I got wrong, please.